Great to be back. We're back with the JB Sills Show. It's going to be a lot more fun than last week because I'm in a bit better of a mood. How you doing today, Producer Brooke?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. Remember when you used to say let's roll? That was fun, wasn't it?
That was fun, and you never said it right.
I never said it right. We practiced like 50 times for one episode. That was a lot of fun.
Good times, less than a year ago.
Anyway, today
Remember when the world was normal?
Oh, those were the days back in like December. Oh, that was nice. Although apparently this Wuhan virus started in like August or something, so it's been going on for we're coming up on a year, right?
No one even knows at this point.
We're coming up on a year. I think that's pretty exciting.
We are.
Yeah. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about something which was a little more on the positive side because last episode was just a bundle of laughs.
Oh, it was great.
Dead, and are we going to be around in 20 years? And it's a very real issue, and I'm not honestly sure what to do about it. But that's not what I want to talk about today. Today I want to talk about something a little more cheerful, you know? I'd like to talk about how, in my view, these teachers' unions and the educational establishment are shooting themselves in the foot right now. They are completely messing up. They are making a potentially fatal error. And I think that if we take advantage of this and the homeschooling community takes advantage of this, this could be huge, what's happening right now. Because all across the country, not only have schools, obviously, not only were they shut down for the half of last year or maybe a good third of last year in the schools, but they have also decided in many states to shut them down this year. They've shut them down for, half the year, a full year already. I don't know what they're doing in like Los Angeles, but it's not, it's...
I don't know why. Why did they do it for like a whole semester and a whole year? Why not just like a quarter at a time?
Because they're stupid.
It just seems like... Ugh.
But I think this is actually a critical error. Because first of all, it's just based off what we were going with, where schools supposedly help you. There's no reason to keep them shut down. Realistically, it's dumb, their reasoning. Because, sure, the students maybe can't social distance, but the kids are in really no danger. And the teachers can social distance. So it's pretty safe, honestly. It's probably more safe than anything else that's coming back right now than going to work at a hair salon. It's probably safer, honestly, to be going to school and being a teacher.
And of course there's going to be plenty of hand sanitizer around and there's going to be precautions taken.
Well, some of these precautions I would say are a bit insane, but yes. So I don't see why they should not be for opening schools, other than teachers, broadly speaking, are lazy. Just lazy, and they're, they like working from home and putting a Google Classroom assignment up for 15 minutes, spending 15 minutes on a Google Classroom assignment every week and getting paid full time. That's probably pretty nice, and the stupid unions let that happen.
Yeah, I mean, if you think any students here, if you think back to the time in ELearning, usually your teachers might put something up at the beginning of the week, a multiple choice, a writing assignment, or something.
And that was it. It was nothing, and they got paid just like they would be in their real job. So why wouldn't they want to? I think teachers, broadly speaking, are lazy. I'm not saying all teachers are, but from what I've seen, and I go to a good quote unquote school, from what I've seen, most teachers are kind of pretty lazy.
Right, and back during school, obviously, your teachers would give sometimes multiple assignments a day.
Yeah.
And that was a lot more work than one assignment a week.
So I think it's the unions, and also we've seen that they also have a political agenda. The LA union said that Los Angeles County schools are only coming back if they defund the police and eliminate charter schools.
Oh, that's nice.
So they also have a lot of political motives of disgusting. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. Defunding the police is absolutely ridiculous, right? Getting rid of charter schools is absolutely ridiculous. They're both completely ridiculous, and there was a massive political agenda from Randy Weingarten and Lily Garcia. By the way, they're like all kind of like old white ladies. Have you ever noticed that? Like all the administrators and all the union leaders, you got Randy, you got Garcia, all these idiots that lead the unions and are destroying education. They're all old, kind of probably childless old ladies.
I feel like a lot of people who make the decisions for schools, opening, closing, school boards and whatever, don't know what it's like to be in school. They've forgotten.
Yeah, I mean, they've been out of school for, half a century now?
And school was probably better back then.
To some extent.
To some extent. It was still not great, but...
Yeah, it was better at certain times, certainly. But I think they're making a huge mistake here, because now that seemingly most schools are going to be closed next year, well, we're going to have no choice but to homeschool. I mean, I'm probably going to be homeschooled next year because I don't want to do virtual learning. I think a lot of parents probably have the same sentiment. Um, Parents are going to be forced to accept that they're going to have to educate their kids, take it into their own hands, and I get it. If you're a parent of an elementary school kid or someone, with special needs or something, it sucks. I get that. But at the same time, use it. Use it to teach your kids about history. Use this time to teach your kids everything that schools wouldn't about how great American history is. Teach them maybe actual math, maybe actual reading if they don't know how to read correctly. Teach them. Don't let them become some cog in the wheel later in their life. Educate them. Give them a real education, which so few get today. That's going to be the key. That's going to be hopefully the good that comes out of this. I want some good to come out of this.
And kids in e-learning, they didn't learn much. I don't think e-learning benefited many kids at all.
Absolutely not.
It's just write a paragraph. I'm not learning anything from that, but I better do what the teacher says.
And you can make up half the stuff too for, gym or health and all that. I mean, you can just make it up, and I think that's what most people did.
On the other hand, if you go and actually learn interesting stuff, I'm getting a new computer. I had to research a bunch about computers. I know so much about computers now. And
I feel like when I've been researching the school system, I've done immense amounts of research. This has been my education because I've not only learned about the schools, I've learned all about history, parts that I never even knew. I've learned all about history. I've learned all about how it relates to the world today. I've learned all about how important history is. So I think that education can come in infinite ways. You can get education in many, many different ways, and school is not one of them. Public school, at least, is not one of them. Public school does not educate. We don't need public school. That's what I'm trying to say, is we don't need public schooling today. It's an outdated, old, useless system which hurts kids now more than it helps them. And I think that if we don't have school and if millions more parents pull their kids out of public school, we are finally going to be forced to realize that. And the world, or at least America, will be an undeniably better place for that.
And the more people homeschool, the more meetups there can be with kids, and kids can socialize and everything. So it'll just be a better environment the more people homeschool.
Right, no, it absolutely would be. Because there's some places, I assume, where there's no homeschooling community. I mean, I don't know about here, but there's no homeschooling community in a lot of places. So I think that if we get millions more people, because it's been interesting, you had the first kind of homeschooling revolution in the 70s, 80s, and 90s where it went up a lot and then kind of tapered off in the 2000s, 2010s, and I think it's going to go way back up again. I think we're going to have a few more million after this families homeschooling. I think this will be the start of another homeschooling revolution, to be honest.
And I hope that any parents who pull their kids out this year will definitely keep doing that in the years coming.
It's absolutely better, especially if the kid is young and they haven't gotten damaged yet. And even if you don't homeschool your kids, take this time once you've been educating them for a while and they're back, even if they do go back to school, in the morning or in the night, talk to them. Educate them. Make sure they're not being indoctrinated or dumbed down.
Help your kid find an interest.
Yeah.
You like history, I like tech stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they like coding. Maybe they like electronics. Anything.
Right. Again, there's infinite ways to get an education. School is not one of them. And the problem is, the modern schooling was built by people like Wilhelm Wundt and John Dewey, who thought that nothing mattered unless it could be quantified or measured. They tried to quantify and measure education and put it into the schooling, where you can't do that. And that's the problem with schooling, is they're made so that they cannot educate. They're made so they're incapable of educating kids. That's the big problem. And that's what needs to start changing. Whether it's maybe reforming the system or just getting as many kids out of there as possible. I mean, I think that's ideal. And I hope that, we'll be, the JB Sills Show will be there while this is all happening. And we'll hopefully be, in the right place at the right time. Maybe we'll be able to make a difference. And we'd obviously like to grow and be able to, have some impact on some families, help homeschooling.
Yeah, if any listeners here have, parents who thinking about homeschooling, or they don't know too much about homeschooling, show this video.
Right. And it's, this is very important. This is literally going to decide the future of our country. And there is reasons to be optimistic. Homeschooling is the number one reason. I don't like talking about charter schools and school choice too much because I think they're kind of a Trojan horse, where they're kind of just a distraction. But there are reasons to be optimistic about schooling. More people are waking up. The president, Trump, he did tweet about it, about how a lot of them are more about indoctrination than education. So maybe I don't know, maybe the president's starting to wake up to this. That'd be nice. I don't know that he is, and I don't think a whole lot of the other candidates are, but it'd be nice, if he at least knows.
Coming up on 10 minutes.
All right. Well, I think that's about all I wanted to say today, but they are shooting themselves in the foot, and that is what's really, really good, because we need to do something about this horrible school system, which is on a course to destroy America. I mean, look at these riots and civil unrest and craziness you've been seeing. This is because of the schools. It all goes back to the schools, and something has to change. We cannot go on like this forever.
The more parents that kind of wake up and say, my kids might do better if they actually learn stuff.
Right. Instead of being schooled to extinction as our nation currently is. Anyway, I think that's going to be about it for today. If you can follow us on Twitter down below. By the way, on Twitter, I called it like 3 months ago. I said there's going to be another Homeschooling Revolution, and it's here. It's coming. So I called it. You can follow us down below to see some more of my uncensored thoughts on Twitter. You can email me, jbsocial@gmail.com. Please do leave a like and subscribe. Share the video. That'd be super awesome.
Yep, sharing always helps. Get the word out.
And until next time, I've been your host, JB.
And I've been producer Brooke.
And we are signing off.